Meet Garrett Langley. As crime continues to rise in America's big cities, Langley has become one of the nation's most successful tech titans, with his plan to eliminate crime by placing one of his flock cameras on every street corner. What you're seeing on your screen is the entrance to Wichita, Kansas upscale town East Square Mall. Traditionally manned by Allied security, it's now surrounded by Langley's flock cameras. And Wichita Mall isn't alone. Big retailers, HOAs, and many police departments have these low-cost devices popping up faster than sunflowers in a Kansas summer. What exactly are these devices? How much do they cost? Are they going to replace your security guard job? And why might this be a temporary trend that consultants with the Security Officer Network might want to caution their clients against? Stay tuned. This video is brought to you by the SecurityOfficerNetwork.com. If you have yet to join us, what are you waiting for? You won't find any other resource like this for demonstrating your desire to be, or the fact that you are, truly a security professional. Join today at the SecurityOfficerNetwork.com.
Now to a Fox 5 exclusive. A small neighborhood in Northern Virginia hired their own security experts to install high-tech license plate reader cameras. The advanced system is already in 1,500 cities across the country. So what do folks really think about this?
It's being hailed as perhaps the greatest success story in crime-fighting technology. Flock devices scan the license plates and create a biometric identity for every vehicle entering or exiting your site. They can be tied into various law enforcement databases in real time. These devices check each vehicle against hot lists like stolen vehicles, FBI watch lists, and Amber Alerts. But that's just the beginning. Flock also compares vehicles against custom lists. For example, if someone has been trespassed, their license plate can be entered into the system, and if they return, on-duty officers are immediately alerted. Your site can also conduct a retroactive search of past traffic. If a break-in occurs, your site will review a scan of every vehicle that entered or exited during that time frame. Develop a list of vehicles of interest, and if there's another incident, compare both lists for similarities. Additionally, this network of scanners is potentially tied into many different law enforcement agencies, meaning LEOs, receive alerts whenever a vehicle of interest passes by, and to top it all off, they are affordable. Sites like the Wichita Mall can deploy these devices for around $6,000 each per year. With all this 21st century surveillance tech coming online, you might wonder, will technology finally replace security officers? Is this the replacement? According to the Security Officer Network, absolutely not. Flock technology has been an overnight success, but Langley's vision of a flock scanner on every corner will likely be its undoing. There are serious and fatal constitutional issues with this approach. It's unlikely to survive the sustained legal challenges that will constrain this technology and prohibit many of the practices currently being used. The U.S. Supreme Court has laid a clear foundation. Though observations made in public have historically been protected from search warrant requirements, once a technology becomes ubiquitous or can track a person's every movement, it violates the Fourth Amendment. Every time the flock system is used to track a criminal, it will now face potential motions to suppress evidence. At least one court has already approved such a motion, putting every future criminal indictment stemming from flock data at risk. As flock enables lazy policing and flock queries are made with regularity, the motion to suppress is set to become the foremost tool of every competent defense attorney. And private security sites are even more vulnerable. Unlike police departments, which have sovereign immunity protections, private sites face significant exposure to civil lawsuits. It's an unproven technology, not just legally, but also in terms of effectiveness. Professional criminals will quickly learn to game the system with tactics such as license plate theft and swapping. This could lead to innocent people being wrongly targeted by law enforcement or your security department. Because your site's cameras are part of the law enforcement network, their issues will become your issues. When law enforcement mistakenly targets an innocent patron at your site, because of your site's scanners, it could open the door to civil liability. There's also growing resistance to the surveillance network itself. People don't want to be tracked everywhere they go. When patrons see these scanners at your client's facility and realize they're being monitored, not just by the site, but by hundreds of other users and law enforcement agencies, including unpopular, politicized federal ones, which aren't easily accountable to local voters, they may take their business elsewhere. The public is just now beginning to learn of how interconnected the devices are. They aren't the old-fashioned surveillance cameras that only the local security department has access to. Security officers will need to be trained to deal with frustrated patrons who see the officers as an extension of a police state. These patrons may be forced to visit the site for unavoidable reasons, but they'll be angry about being scanned and may take it out on the officer. And then there's the biggest concern. Flock technology has grown so fast, it hasn't had time to mature. It's not unlike Allied security, which we've discussed before. Allied got too big too quickly, and in the network's view, now operates in a culture of chaos. The liabilities are numerous. Hundreds of law enforcement departments using this system will inevitably have users who abuse the technology, and departments haven't yet had the proper time to put into place best auditing and control practices. Consider the case in Wichita, where a small-town officer allegedly used his small-town department's access to the Wichita system to monitor where his estranged wife was located. Did he also have access to query data from private property scanners? If so, it could make the private sites a deep-pocketed target for the victim's possible ensuing lawsuit. How many other abuses have occurred that we don't know about yet? How much civil liability might private sites have in the system that is yet to be realized due to the possible abuse of LEO operators? You can't roll out such a powerful technology this quickly, give access to thousands of users, and not expect abuse. If you're consulting with a client about adopting this technology, they need to be made aware of these concerns. If they proceed anyways, advise them to, at the very least, wall off access to their systems to prevent unauthorized users from gaining entry. And if you're worried that these devices will take your security job, or if this technology has kept you from committing to the security industry, don't. These technologies, while flashy, are going to face legal and logistical hurdles that will limit their impact. In the end, they'll probably complement, but not replace, many of the human-driven security best practices. But stay informed. Like and follow this channel to keep up with the latest trends in private security, including future reports on security industry employment stats. What do you think? Do you think Flock is a violation of constitutional requirements? Will the court step in and stop what is going on? Have you seen any security jobs replaced by these or similar technologies? Share your observations in the comments. And if you haven't joined the Security Officer Network yet, what are you waiting for? A network ID is the true status symbol of choice for security professionals. It's sure to impress future employers and clients. Until next time, stay safe.